Okay. So now we will continue with the effects. So we saw about the sea level rise, and then we got into the changes in the regional climate, and then we saw the changes in the ecosystem, all right, the terrestrial ecosystem. So when come to the ocean, the fourth one, we need to see what is this ocean acidification. Ocean acidification. See, they say that for a year, approximately 40 billion tons of carbon dioxide is emitted in the atmosphere. So approximately 40 billion tons of carbon dioxide is emitted in every year. So now, suppose if this 40 billion tons is present in the atmosphere, by this time the temperature would have crossed more than 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. So it is getting mitigated naturally. How? Because a substantial part of this carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ocean. That is, let me say this is the ocean. When a carbon dioxide comes and touches with the water, it will get easily dissolved. So in the diffusion process, how oxygen is getting dissolved, the same way the carbon dioxide will also get dissolved. So comparing between carbon dioxide versus oxygen, of course, carbon dioxide can dissolve better in the ocean than the oxygen. So I'll say that carbon dioxide is a better dissolver. So once carbon dioxide is getting dissolved in the water, then obviously the carbon dioxide will change the water into carbonic acid, right? Because carbon dioxide is acidic. So when it is getting dissolved in the water, when the CO2, so that the water is getting acidic. So that is the reason we call it as a ocean acidification. Okay. So now, when I say ocean acidification, what would be the pH? So if you take a pH, you know that neutral is 7, acidity, base, right? So what would be the pH? When I say ocean acidification, so what the pH will change? How the pH will change? The pH may come down, right? So the pH has to reduce. So here, do not think that ocean acidification means the pH will come less than 7. Okay, it is not so. It will not come less than 7. It will be only within 7. Say earlier it was pH was 10. So from 10 it came to 9, it came to 7, 8, it came to now 7.4 something it has come. So from here it probably can come to 7.2, 7.1. But don't think that it will go less than 7. So this American, Environment Protection Agency says that even touching 7 is also very difficult, and it can never go less than 7. And also the US Protection Agency says, Environment Protection Agency, even if you cut down all the trees in this world, if you burn all the fossil fuel in this world also, it will not go less than 7. The pH of the water can never go less than 7. Okay, why it cannot go less than 7? Very simple, because of the presence of various salt. Am I right? And also we have a lot of phytoplankton, which will absorb the carbon dioxide. So that is the reason ocean acidification, please keep in mind, it is something in the base itself, it will reduce. Okay, it will reduce in base itself. It will never go less than 7. It will never go less than 7. Okay, now when the pH changes, obviously it is going to kill zoonthaler, that is a coral. Of course, it affects all the fishes, marine organism, and many organisms will become extinct because of this ocean acidification. Okay, so please try to know about ocean acidification. Ocean acidification, don't think that the ocean will go less than 7. Okay, that is what will happen to the ocean ecosystem. The next comes the permafrost, which I already told you. Because of the permafrost melting, it will contribute to sea level rise. Second is the melting of permafrost is going to emit a lot of carbon dioxide and methane. Now that will further magnify the climate change. And apart from that, there are deadly bacteria and viruses. So which I already told you, zombie disease. There are deadly bacteria and viruses. So now this deadly bacteria and viruses, what happens, you see, it may get affected. Of course, it will come out and it may affect us. And at the same time, a lot of infrastructure also will be lost. So that is what the damage is going to happen because of permafrost melting. Okay. And the next one is food security. Next is food security. When coming to the food security, so the global pattern, when come to the global pattern, they say that the food yield will reduce in tropical countries. The food yield will reduce in tropical countries. But whether globally it will reduce? No. In the high latitude area, the food yield will increase. In the high latitude area, the food yield will increase. So anyway, the reduction in food yield in the tropical countries, tropical, subtropical belt will go up to 30 to 40% reduction. 30 to 40 reduction. So food yield here, probably it can be 10%. But when you take a global food production, yes, the global food production yield may reduce. So even though it can benefit some countries in the higher latitude, but globally the food production is going to reduce. Now here you see all the developing country, poor countries are situated here. Africa, Asia, all right, the American countries, the South American countries. All the rich countries are situated here. So now the rich countries are going to get benefited because of this, agriculture, because of this climate change, because a slight increase in the temperature in this latitude is going to influence the food yield. It is going to increase the food yield. But whereas here it is going to decrease. Okay, crop to crop also changes will happen because most of the time the food yield is going to reduce because of loss of soil moisture. Okay, and now after when it comes to food security, so it's not only agriculture, it also comes livestock. So what is going to happen to the livestock? Because of the increase in temperature and because of heat stress, the livestock population may decline. Of course, fishery. Yes, because of the increase in temperature, ocean acidification and all, the fishery also is going to come down. So in general, the food security, so both agriculture, livestock and fishery, everything is going to decline. Everything is going to decline. Okay. The next one, coming to the health. The last one, health. So what is going to happen to the health? Because of increase in temperature, we are going to get a lot of heat-oriented disease. Heat-oriented disease, of course, heat strokes can happen. Because of that, many people will get killed because of heat strokes. Heat-oriented disease will come. And now when the temperature increases, you know that bacterial activity will increase, viral activity will increase. So definitely there is a chances of a lot of communicable diseases. Lot of communicable diseases is going to increase. Okay, so these are some of the effects of climate change. So if you see sea level rise, so a lot of islands will be lost, a lot of coastal regions will be lost, infrastructure will be lost. The second is the climate is going to change. That is called extreme weather event is going to happen. Because of that, more natural disaster, more loss is going to happen. Now the terrestrial ecosystem is going to fall down. Oceanic ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem will also fall down. Permafrost melting will happen. Health related issue will happen. Agriculture is going to come down. Of course, water resource also is going to get affected. Now, by and large, because of this, because of this climate change, so the impact is going to be very huge. Okay, apart from this, the last one concept in the effect is hothouse earth. It came in the news. So 1 year back, it came in the news. Hothouse earth. Okay. See, what is that hothouse earth is? See, this particular concept was brought by some researchers. So it came in a journal which is called PNAS journal. It's one of a very important global journal for science. So in that journal, some American, sorry, not Australian and New Zealand scientists have released this concept, what is called hothouse Earth, in the research paper. So they didn't do any research. They compiled the research reports of various countries and they released it. So their idea is, they say that today globally, everyone has decided that all the country have decided we need to limit to 2 degrees. But what they say is, it is not possible for us to limit to 2 degrees. It is not possible for us to limit to 2 degrees because because for that we are spending money, we are taking action. Now, when you go and reach 2 degrees, when you think that you will be reaching 2 degrees, by the time you will be reaching, 4 degrees or 5 degrees, so that the earth will become completely inhabitable. So of course, in the earth, there is only one place we can survive, that is pole. This is the only place, whereas the rest other every places will be so warm, where 4 to 5 degrees Celsius will increase, where no one can survive. Okay, so how do they say that? So there are two things they say. That is, the last ice age was over by 12,000 years ago. You know that ice age was over 12,000 years ago. So right now, where we are is interglacial period. So I will give a notes for it. I will dictate a notes. First listen. So right now, we are in a period which is called interglacial period or interglacial cycle. See, like this, there were many interglacial cycle before. But if you compare the temperature of interglacial cycle, previous interglacial cycle, the present interglacial cycle today, what we are is very, very warm. So obviously, the next one is, it has to go to a new age called hothouse Earth age. It is called hothouse Earth age because they say that after the glacial period is over, so right now we are in the interglacial period. If you compare the previous interglacial period, the present interglacial period is so warm. It is so warm, so that after a few years of time, we will be entering to a new age called hothouse Earth age. Okay, so what is going to make this? So why it is when you reach 2 degrees, why it has to go to 4 degrees or 5 degrees? For this, they say that our Earth has 10 natural feedback mechanism. Natural feedback mechanism. There's a 10 natural feedback mechanism. For every feedback mechanism, there is a tipping point. For every mechanism, there's a tipping point. So if you trigger the tipping point, if you reach the tipping point, that mechanism will complete it and it will push the next mechanism. In turn, it will push the next. In turn, it will push the next. For example, very simple. See, now today we are keeping a target called 2 degrees Celsius. Now, for right now, we are 1 degree Celsius. When you go and reach 1.5 degrees Celsius, by the time the permafrost tipping point will be reached. Now permafrost will start melting. You cannot stop it at all. Now when the permafrost, by the time if we go and reach 2 degrees, now in this period, when the permafrost is getting melted, it will release a lot of carbon dioxide and methane. Now that will give 3 degrees Celsius. So you'll think that you will reach 2 degrees, but because of the permafrost melting, a lot of methane and carbon dioxide comes out, that will increase another 1 degree Celsius. Just for example, I'm telling. Now, when you reach 2.5 degrees Celsius, that time the forest dieback will happen. All the forest will get, the forest will die. Now, when the forest dies, the carbon dioxide level increases. Am I right? So even though if you take a tree, if you cut a tree, that time a lot of carbon dioxide comes out because from the soil, because soil is a very good carbon dioxide trapper. So that is the reason we should not go for deforestation. So now what happens is, when you come 2.5, forest dieback will be triggered. So when you think that you can reach 3, it will go to 3.5 or 4 degrees. Like that, the Earth has 10 feedback mechanism. So triggering one mechanism will push the other, in turn will push the other, in turn will push the other, so that it will reach to 4 degree to 5 degree, where the sea level will rise 10 meter to 60 meter. Where the sea level will rise 10 meter to 60 meter, where the entire Earth will become completely inhabitable. And also what they try to say is, already we have triggered some of the tipping mechanism. We are the tipping point of the certain natural feedback mechanism. Already it is operated. Now the permafrost is starting melting. So global, forest is degrading. So like that, they are telling them 10 feedback mechanism. So now it is already operated. So hereafter, whatever you do, it is not going to stop it. So they say that even today, if you cut down all the human activity, stop burning emission, don't use coal power plant, don't use vehicle. Even if you stop all entire activity also, the temperature will go to 3 degree or 4 degree. So apart from that, if you're doing some activity, it will go to 5 degree, 6 degree. So where definitely, the survival will become very, very difficult. This is what called hothouse here. It came in the newspaper. Okay. So just only for your understanding. So just make note. Reaching 2 degree is risky. At the same time, reaching 2 degree is risky. At the same time, not possible. Reaching 2 degree is risky. At the same time, not possible. Okay. The next line. The last ice age was over. The last ice age was over 12,000 years ago. The last ice age was over 12,000 years ago. Now we are in interglacial cycle. Now we are in interglacial cycle. Full stop. But this interglacial cycle temperature is very high than the previous interglacial cycles. Than the previous interglacial cycles. Than the previous interglacial cycle. And the previous interglacial cycle. Full stop. Hence, so we will be entering into a new age called hothouse earth age. We will be entering into a new age called hothouse earth age. Hothouse earth age. So next paragraph. Earth has 10 natural feedback mechanism. 10 natural feedback mechanism. Bracket example like permafrost, thawing, forest dieback, etc. Earth has 10 natural feedback mechanism, bracket permafrost thawing, forest dieback, etc. Full stop. When this feedback mechanism are triggered, when one feedback mechanism is triggered, just like that, when one feedback mechanism is triggered, when one feedback mechanism is triggered, comma, it will push the other, feedback, or it will push the other, comma, in turn will push the another, in turn will push the another, thereby in turn it will push the another, thereby in turn will push the another, thereby the earth temperature will reach, the earth temperature will increase by, or the earth temperature will reach 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, 4 to 5 degrees Celsius than pre-industrial level, with a sea level rise of 10 meter to 60 meter, with a sea level rise of 10 meter to 60 meter. Okay, so when this condition comes, so obviously people all have to move towards the pole. So of course, everyone move towards the pole, what will happen? Am I right? Population, explosion and all will happen. And after a point of time, there is the people, of course, the earth will become completely, non-habitable. Okay, this is what they tried to explain in this hothouse earth phenomena. So we don't know how well it has got a scientific support, but it is a concept came in the newspaper from the journal PNAS. That is the reason today even IPCC also says that do not keep 2 degrees Celsius as a target. It seems to be very risky. That is what I think last year the IPCC has released a special report on 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that is about the effects of climate change. Now we have to go to the next part, how to control the climate change. So in this control of climate change, we have to see the Indian methods of controlling climate change, how India controls climate change, international, global. So before that, we will see a concept what is called carbon sequestration. So if you reach 2 degrees Celsius, it means 4 degrees automatically due to the intern. Yes, that is what they try to say. They say that we are doing some actions. We are going for many actions. We are spending a lot of money thinking that we can limit our temperature to 2 degrees. But these experts says that this hothouse expert says that it is not possible. Okay, because when you reach 1.5 itself, some feedback mechanism will be triggered. Okay, it will go and it will end up in 3. For example, now they say that permafrost tipping point has reached. Okay, so permafrost tipping point has reached. So now, even you stop all the activity, anyway, the permafrost is going to melt. From that, all the trapped carbon dioxide and methane is going to come, which will further increase the temperature. Even today, if you stop all the human activity. So that is what, when you reach 2 degrees and all, by the time permafrost will get completely melted, by the time it will come to 3. When you come 3 degrees, immediately forest dieback will be triggered. Now, most of the forest will die. Because of that, lot of carbon dioxide will get emitted from the forest. Okay, and also carbon dioxide cannot be captured. Now, that will increase further 0.5 or something too. Like that 10 feedback mechanism we have. Okay, so now that is the question comes, whether if you keep 1.5 degree, whether this natural feedback mechanism will not be triggered. That is what they believe. So they say that if you reach 1.5 degrees Celsius, if you limit the temperature to 1.5 degrees Celsius, damage is going to happen. At least damage will be minimum. But when you reach 2 degrees Celsius, this 0.5 is going to do a big impact. See, right now, see, everything is a, everything is a hypothesis, it's only a research. I'm right, prediction, mathematical calculation, that is what, everything, I'm right. So we are not very clear, but they say that if you keep 1.5, at present knowledge, whatever the knowledge we have, it is safe. If you 0.5 degree, if you increase, we do not know what will happen. That 0.5 will sometimes, trigger your permafrost, trigger your, pressure belts and wind belts. So anything can happen. That is the reason, again and again, many experts are saying that don't keep 2 degrees Celsius as a target, keep 1.5 degrees Celsius as a target. Okay. Coming to the carbon sequestration. Coming to the sort of, see, what is carbon sequestration? Sequester means capture. That is, carbon sequestration means it is a process of capturing the carbon dioxide and trapping it. That is storing it in a long term. So how it is possible to trap carbon dioxide and store it in a long term? So is it possible to trap the atmospheric carbon dioxide and store it in a long term? Yes, it is possible. So the one method is biosequestration. Under this, try to promote a very simple concept, reforestation. Reforestation or afforestation. Sometimes it is also called as green carbon. Now what will happen? So when you plant more number of trees, more plants and trees, obviously the plant is going to capture carbon dioxide. So that is one method. The second method is, yes, we can also use ocean. Am I right? So ocean, what you can do? In ocean, we can promote a lot of phytoplankton. So that phytoplankton is also photosynthetic, which will capture carbon dioxide. So for that, in order to promote the phytoplankton, you need to go for ocean fertilization. Sometimes it is called as blue carbon. Okay, in the ocean fertilization, what we will be doing is, we will be either spraying urea, sometimes it is called urea fertilization. When you spray urea, you know that the phytoplankton growth will happen. But the problem is, sometimes it can result in eutrophication. So that's the reason urea fertilization will not be much preferred. But today what they are doing is iron fertilization. Iron fertilization. In the iron fertilization, you need to spray the iron on the ocean surface. Iron, you know that it's a micro element which is needed for the plant. When iron is taken, photosynthetic activity will be increased in the plant. That is, iron can induce a photosynthetic activity. It is very necessary for the photosynthesis, so that effective photosynthesis can happen, effective carbon dioxide capture can happen. So today they are using this iron fertilization. That's the second method. Okay, the third method is, yes, we can also use soil, wetland restoration. You know that soil is a very good carbon sink. Normally, when a carbon dioxide comes and touches with the soil, immediately it will bind with the mineral and it will get trapped in the soil. So that is what the trapped carbon dioxide in the soil, we should not, disturb. So when you go for more wetland, definitely, definitely it is possible that the carbon dioxide can be trapped. But the problem in the wetland is it will emit methane, which is another greenhouse gas. But since carbon dioxide is more than 60%, so we can also try to promote wetland in capturing the carbon dioxide. And also the world 6% of the carbon, it is trapped in the wetland. So wetland can be a good, sequester. And apart from that, the D is agriculture. In agriculture, you need to go for zero tillage. Zero tillage or no till farming. Normally in any soil, if you disturb the soil, if you till the soil for agriculture activity, the trapped carbon dioxide will come out. Okay, and moreover, the soil cannot trap the carbon dioxide further. Now, when you go for this zero tillage, the soil can be effective carbon sequester. At the same time, the trapped carbon dioxide in the soil also will not come out. That is the reason better agriculture practices is also another method. So these and all will come under the biosequestration. So biosequestration, how can you capture the carbon dioxide? The one is plant the tree, reforestation, afforestation, go for wetland restoration, the soil will trap it, go for iron fertilization, the ocean phytoplankton will trap it. Okay, go for better agriculture practices. Iron fertilization, that is, if you spray the iron in the ocean, iron is an element which is used for photosynthesis, for the plant and phytoplankton photosynthesis. So it will induce photosynthesis. By that way, it can be very helpful. Zero tillage. You know that if you take a soil in agriculture activity, they will till the soil. Am I right? They till the soil, they disturb the soil. That time all the trapped carbon dioxide will come out. And also the carbon dioxide trapping also will reduce. So now in a zero tillage and all, you will drill a hole and then you will put a seed. Drill a small hole, put a seed. Okay. That is called zero tillage. Sometimes this reforestation, you can call it as green carbon. In ocean, if you do it, it is sometimes called as blue carbon. If you spray urea or if you spray iron, it's called blue carbon. But the problem with the urea is when excess urea if you have applied, then it will lead to eutrophication. That is the reason we need to be very careful in applying the urea. Okay, that is one. Then we have a next method, geological sequestration. Geological sequestration. So in the geological sequestration, what we'll be doing is, so you know that power plant. So if you take a coal power plant, let me take this as a coal power plant. So from the coal power plant, the exhaust is going to come out. Now you have to trap this exhaust. You need to trap this carbon dioxide, take it to a pipeline and send it to a pressure chamber where the air carbon dioxide has to be compressed in a very high pressure, approximately 100 bar. You have to take the air carbon dioxide from the power plant, send it to a pressure chamber where you need to pressure that, compress the air in a very high temperature, high pressure, which is in 100 bar. So the time when air carbon dioxide is pressurized in 100 bar, it will change into liquid carbon dioxide, which is called supercritical fluid. Which is called supercritical fluid. Which is called supercritical fluid. Okay, that is nothing but liquid carbon dioxide. Now this fluid, what you can do is you can directly discharge in any depleted oil and gas reservoir or any unused coal mine or unused coal bed or even in the rock bed, you can store it so that safely the carbon dioxide is trapped. It is not emitted in the air form in the atmosphere. Okay, this is a concept we call it as geological sequestration. Okay, just make note. Capture carbon dioxide from power plant. Capture carbon dioxide from power plant and compress to 100 bar. Compress to 100 bar, where it will get converted into supercritical fluid. where it will get converted into supercritical fluid. Where it will get converted into supercritical fluid, and it is transported via pipe. Yes, it is supercritical fluid, is nothing but liquid carbon dioxide, and transported via pipe and discharging depleted oil and gas reservoir, unminable coal bed or unused coal bed, or even in the rock bed. Okay, so that it will get into the rock earth. It can also be helpful for enhancing oil recovery. Sometimes it also be helpful. Okay. See, it is whether it is done in India, I'm not very sure, but they are trying out. I heard that some IIT or some institute is trying out. Okay, the next is some other methods. So these are all some very radical method. The first one is copy a volcano. Copy a volcano. Copy a volcano. See, you know that in case of a heavy volcano, the gas forms a cloud. Because of that, the incoming radiation is stopped. The earth will get a cooling effect. So now the same logic, we can use it. What we have to do is, in the atmosphere, we need to go for atmospheric seeding. We need to go for atmospheric seeding. That is, in the upper atmosphere, we need to spray sulfur dioxide or hydrogen sulfide. If you spray sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, it will produce a fume like a cloud, which will prevent the sun rays. By that way, the temperature can come down. Okay, this is something called atmospheric seeding. Sometimes we call it as a copy a volcano. That is duplicate a volcano. So for this, sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide may be used to create a cloud, fumes, like a fumes it will create. Okay, that is one method. The second method is whitening the cloud. Okay, it may have little health hazard because since in the upper atmosphere, we may not have an issue. But yes, definitely in a rainfall and all, it can, suppose if the rainfall happens, there is a possibility that, acid rain can come. Whitening of clouds. What you need to do is here, you need to spray seawater in the sky. So when the ship moves on, so that time what we can do is, through a pressure pump, we need to pump some seawater and then, push it in the sky or even in the airplane or something. So now when the seawater is sprayed on the cloud, especially the sky, the cloud will become more white. When the cloud becomes more white, you know that it will increase the albedo effect. It will increase the reflection. By that way, the heat can get reduced. The heat can get reduced. Okay, there's another one. The next one is, which is very, very radical. launch a mirror. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to create a mirror a size of Greenland, and place it between planet and sun so that the sun's heat can get reflected. Okay, very, very radical idea. That is launch a mirror. Launch a mirror. So these are the, an extreme case, we can use it. Okay. Just a minute. Sometimes actually it is also called as space mirror. It was in the proposal. I think it was not implemented. No one has implemented. Okay, I think in Russia there is a project they are doing actually this particular project, but I think they have not implemented. In Russia, some Namia or something, some project is there. This launching a mirror. Sometimes we call it as a space mirror. It's called climate engineering. So, but no one has implemented this. These are all, the different ideas, radical idea to, reduce the temperature. Okay, now we have seen the various effects of climate change, and then we saw what is the concept of carbon sequestration. Now, directly, we need to see how to control climate change. That is how we mitigate and adapt climate change. Mitigate and adapt climate change. So here we need to see in two directions. One is what India does it. The second is in the international. That is UNFCCC. So what UNFCCC does it. So this is what we have to see. So in between that, we will also try to see what is ozone depletion. First, let us take how India. So what is the India action plan on climate change? Now we can see here, India action plan on climate change. So here the major action plan is National Action Plan on Climate Change, NAPCC. National Action Plan on Climate Change. So here there are 8 missions. Under this, there are 8 missions. So even it is given in your book, you have to see that 8 mission. Anyway, I will give a okay, which is very important. Okay, and then the second one is Climate Change Action Program. It is also called as CCAP. Climate Change Action Program. It is called as CCAP. CCAP. See, this is a science project. Okay, it's not a very big project. It's just a science project. Okay, under this project, what we do, we have 2 programs. The one is National Carbonaceous Aerosol Program. National Carbonaceous Aerosol Program. So here it is, this program is done by IIT. It's a science project done by IIT. They want to understand the aerosol, nothing but particulate matter like black carbon and all, role in the climate change. So aerosol, you know that it's a particulate matter, carbonaceous particulate matter. Black carbon is a carbonaceous particulate matter. So how this black carbon, influences, how this black carbon influences the, it's not only black carbon, like this, the various particulate matter influences the climate change. So as a science project, this is done by the IIT. Okay, the next is LTEO, long-term ecological observation. LTEO, long-term ecological observation. So here, this is a 40 crore science project. in this 8 biomes they have chosen in India. So it is given in your essay book. You can see what are the 8 biomes. It's nothing but Himalayas, desert, coastal, Western Ghats, Northeast. So that's how the Central India, Central Indian forest. So 8 biomes they have chosen. Now they want to understand what are all the human activity, okay, that is changing that 8 biomes. The human activity and the climate change influencing this 8 biomes. Okay, so both are science project, so nothing much to discuss in this. The next comes the India Red Plus program. India Red Plus program, so that we will see in the international convention. In the convention, you need to understand what is red and red plus. Red and red plus, we will try to see in the international convention. Okay. CCAP, under the CCAP, National Carbonaceous Aerosol Program is done by, I think is done by IIT. LTO, it's done by many scientists, not by only IIT. Long-term ecological observatories or observation. So try to see about it. So we cannot explain each and everything. This is all basic science project. Okay, now we will get into the 8 missions. We will discuss the 8 missions. We will try to understand about the 8 missions. The first mission is National Solar Mission. Just I will give a overview. Okay, you can see from the book, National Solar Mission, NSM. Okay, so what is this mission? It is nothing but promoting solar energy. So we want to cut down the coal power plant so that the emission of carbon dioxide will be controlled, methane will be controlled, so that the clean energy can be brought. That is what National Solar Mission. So this mission, of course, this entire NAPCC was brought when Congress period came. So that time, under the mission, solar mission, the target was we need to build 20 gigawatt by 2022. But when the BJP government came, so they increased to 100 gigawatt. So we want to increase the solar energy to 100 gigawatt by 2022. So how we are going to do? Yes. So for this, we want to promote solar energy. So how the government has promoted? Yes, all the solar businesses, the government is giving a lot of incentive. I'm right. So if you want to import any solar material, solar parts and all, so duties, concession and all, everything rebate is given. And even in your house, if you are going for any solar, the government is giving a lot of subsidies. All right. So here, two part we are giving focus. The one is off grid. When you come to off grid, we are promoting a lot of rooftop solar energy. So now you have seen many houses and all gone for rooftop solar energy, even commercial building complex, offices, build industries. So everyone today has gone to rooftop because government is giving subsidy. The government says that mandatorily a part of the energy, they have to get it from rooftop solar energy. So by that way, we are cutting down the carbon dioxide. All right, we are cutting down the coal power plant. That is one. Apart from that, we are also planning for ultra mega solar power project. So in current affair, we will see something. Solar floating park and all is being brought up. Solar mega power project. So this is to bring grid connectivity. Okay. And also the government under this program, that is under this mission, they also brought that 20 million solar lighting. 20 million solar lighting. Okay. They have to bring for rural by 2022. 20 million solar lighting for rural by 2022. Okay, so by and large, we are trying to promote solar energy. And also the government is also providing incentive for indigenous production. So today the only concern is solar is very costly. So the government is trying to do all the measure to reduce the cost of the solar, so that after one point of time, we will reach a solar energy where per unit may come to 3 rupees or 4 rupees. which will be equal to your electricity board, whatever they give. For that comes from the coal power plant. So that is what the government ambition. So by solar energy, we want to reduce the electricity. We want to reduce the, not electricity, we want to reduce the coal power plant consumption. That is the first this mission talks about. The second mission is National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Okay. Enhanced energy efficiency. Okay. See, it is nothing but enhanced energy efficiency. That means we need to conserve electricity. We should not waste electricity. Okay, we should reduce electricity consumption. So how can we do it? We can do it by, reducing our electricity consumption. How can we use it? Yes, the one is moving towards LED. So here, the government has launched a Ujala scheme. Under this, to go for LED. So go for LED. Okay, that is one. And apart from this, if there is any scope, right now in our house, any electricity consumption is happening. Conservation. Yes, star rating equipments, am I right? So for this, they created one organization called BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Bureau of Energy Efficiency. This is a statutory organization which is brought under the Energy Conservation Act. So you have to see from the website, what is this BEE? Bureau of Energy Efficiency. The Energy Conservation, under the Energy Conservation Act, they brought it. So they are the one who gives the star rating, am I right? So try to go to this website and try to see for what are all the electrical equipment they have a star rating. So we have for the fridge, for the air conditioner. Okay, for tube light, do we have star rating? Yes, there's also star rating. So when you go for 5-star and all, the chances that the electricity consumption is going to be very, very minimum. Okay, that is what Bureau of Energy Efficiency is doing. It's a statutory body which was created under the Energy Conservation Act. Okay, apart from that, the major energy consumption is happened by industries. Of course, they say that industry consumes 40 to 45% of energy. So energy means don't think only electricity, it can be even fuel. It can be even fuel. So industry is the one who consumes nearing 40 to 45% of the energy. Now we want to fix this industry. We want to reduce, we want the industry to reduce it. Okay, how to do it? Okay, under this, since industry is consuming 40 to 45% of the energy, under this mission, they brought a market-based approach. They brought a market-based approach, which is called PAT scheme. Which is called PAT scheme. PAT, perform, achieve, trade. Perform, achieve, trade. You have to perform it, achieve it, and trade it. Okay, how a PAT scheme will work? Just I'm giving an example. So for exam point of view, it's not needed, but just only for understanding. Now the government first will identify industries, the list of industries who is consuming more energy. So let me say that It's a steel industry, it's a coal industry, so it's a aluminum industry, it's a bauxite industry, something. So now first they will understand what is the list of industry which is consuming more energy. And then for this industry, they will try to calculate what is the specific energy consumption is needed. They will try to calculate what is the specific energy consumption for this. So for example, this company A, it's aluminum industry. If it is aluminum industry, how much electricity you need to consume? If it is a B industry, how much the specific energy consumption, SEC. First, they will arrive at. Okay, for example, just I will tell you, for example, this is using 1000 units of electricity. So he's using 800 units of electricity per year. He's using 2000 units of electricity. He's using 500 units of electricity. Now, what the government will give is, the government will give target for this SEC. The government will say that hereafter you cannot use 1000, you can use only 700. Hereafter you cannot use 800, you can use only 500. You cannot use 2000, you can use only 1500. Okay, you cannot use 500, you have to use only 300. Like this, the government will give a target. Okay, if you don't oblige the target, penalties will be there. Okay, now each and every company, what they will do, they will try to reduce electricity. For example, the A company, so they have to reduce 300 units. So they may go for, from the coal power plant, they may go for, solar energy. They may go for wind energy. Okay, the old machines and all, they may replace with a new machine with 5-star rating, 5-star rated. So like that, everyone will try to conserve the electricity, they will reduce it. So now let me say that this company C has to reduce 2000 to 1500, but they couldn't reduce 1500, they could only reduce 1700. That is 200 is a shortfall. Now this company is consuming 800 units. It is supposed to reduce to 500. Let me say that this company B is taking more action and reducing to 300. Okay, that means plus 200 they have reduced additionally. Now the company B, it's a market scheme. It's a market-based approach. Now what the company B can do is, so they have reduced 200 excess because they are only supposed to reduce 500, but they reduced to 300. That is excess 200 they reduced. This excess 200 they can convert into energy saving certificate. They can convert into energy saving certificate. Now this company 200 is a shortfall. Now what this company will do? This company C will go to company B and they will ask, okay, please give me 200 units because I have a shortfall. I will pay you, 2 lakh or 3 lakh, give me. So immediately the B will give to C so that the C will show as if he has reduced, okay, 200 units. So now in order to purchase and sell this, energy saving certificate, there will be an exchange which is called Power Exchange of India. So in that the B will come and sell, the C will come and buy. So anyway, D will sell, A will come and buy. So that's how, like a stock market, trading will happen. That is what perform it, achieve it, and trade it. Perform, achieve, trade. Perform it, achieve it, trade it. So here, first thing, since industry is a high intensive energy companies, first we need to calculate the specific energy consumption, and then we need to give a reduction target. For every company, we will give a reduction target, they have to reduce. If they cannot reduce it, then they have to purchase the energy saving certificate from other company who have reduced more. Okay, by that way, they try to, reduce this entire scope. So this is what we call it as a, PAT scheme. It's a market-based approach. Now, what happens, you see, the company is reducing the target, the company is reducing the electricity. At the same time, it is also making them to reduce more so that you can trade it, you can sell it. So it's a market-based approach. So this is what we have planned in the National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. So under this mission, so shifting towards LED, the second is Bureau of Energy Efficiency has brought 5-star rating, by that also electricity is conserved, and also through the market-based approach, PAT scheme also electricity is conserved. So through this, they have a plan to reduce. Okay, 19,000 megawatts of electricity. Okay, where that fuel saving should happen for 23 million ton per year. So that's what cumulative avoided electricity capacity addition of 19,000 megawatt. We have to reduce by conserving the electricity itself. We have to reduce 19,000 megawatts. Additional capacity addition, we need to control it. Okay, this is what called National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Okay, the third mission is National Mission for Sustainable Habitat. National Mission for Sustainable Habitat. That is nothing but the cities. Okay, what is the scope in the city? We need to make the city sustainable. It is nothing but adaptation to the climate change and also mitigating the climate change. National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. So here the first one is, you know that electricity is more consumed, energy is more consumed in the building, and building is the one more polluting. So that is what they brought a energy conservation building code. Energy conservation building code. So it is nothing but optimization of energy demand by the building. So today, if any building and all mandatory, they need to go for, large buildings, they need to mandatorily go for, LEDs. They need to have this, mandatorily they have to go use solar energy. Mandatorily they have to have their own STP, sewage treatment plant. So now the building conservation code has been changed now, so that we want to reduce some electricity consumption in the building. The second is they're also promoting the concept of green building. The government is promoting green building certification. The government is promoting today green building certification. So do you know in India who is giving this green building certification? In India, the green building certification is called Griha rating. It is developed by TERI, the Energy Research Institute, and of course our Ministry of Renewable Energy, non-renewable energy. Ministry of Renewable Energy and TERI has developed this rating. So actually it is a 5-star rating. See what it is, suppose if you have a large building, now Griha rating, they have some 30 to 40 criteria. If you meet all the criteria, then you can go and apply to the Griha rating. Now they will come and inspect it. Suppose if you met all the criteria, they will give you 5-star. So if you met few criteria are not met, they will give you 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, like that. They will get a Griha rating. See, what is the purpose of getting a Griha rating? When you get a Griha rating, probably when you get some star rating and all, you will get concession in the taxes. Some corporation taxes and all will get reduced. That is what. So for that, you need to have a, good standard building. Second is we also have international rating, that is called LEED rating. This is international rating. LEED rating. This LEED rating, its LEED full form is Leadership in Energy Environment Design. Leadership in Energy Environment Design. Energy Environment Design. Sorry, this LEED rating is given by US Building Council. This LEED rating is given by US Building Council. US Green Building Council. So this is a global standard. So the standards are very stringent. So here the rating, they will give like platinum, gold, silver, bronze, like that. So now if you meet the criteria, it is a global level rating. If you apply, they will come and inspect and they will give this rating. So global rating. So in India, there is a building which has got a Griha of 5-star rating with a LEED of platinum rating. Do you know what is that building? Of course, in Asia itself it is there. When Barack Obama, when he was a president, when he came to India, he visited that building. That is nothing but our Ministry of Environment building. Indra Parivaran Bhavan. Indra Parivaran Bhavan, Ministry of Environment building. So if you go to our Ministry of Environment building, so this building material, everything is energy efficient material. And also whatever the equipment they have used, computers, AC, everything is star rated, 5-star rated. And morning time, they will never use light, they use sunlight. Maximum sunlight is utilized. Okay, and also the building is so insulated in such a way that air conditioner are used very, very minimum. So that is what, it's a Griha rated, sorry, it's a LEED rated, Griha rated building. So now in the urban region, especially in the sustainable habitat, first we are going for energy conservation building code, so that we want to optimize energy for the building. At the same time, emission from the building should also be very, very minimum. The second concentration is on water supply. So mandatory rainwater harvesting. Mandatory rainwater harvesting. So today it's being promoted. The second is they are planning for public transport. So metro trains and all, so that 2-wheelers and 4-wheelers will be reduced. Okay, and very important is recycling of urban waste management. Especially here, we need to control this MSW, because MSW will also emit methane. I told you, MSW, when it is an open dumping or the landfill, the methane is going to come out. So methogenesis is going to happen. So like that, they are targeting the urban region. So that in the urban region, we want to make the urban more sustainable habitat. At the same time, whatever possible to reduce carbon dioxide and methane in the urban, that also we're trying to do under this mission. So that is what this mission is called, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. Okay. The next mission is National Mission on Green India. National Mission on Green India. So it's one of a very flagship program for investment of 45,000 crores. So it is nothing but afforestation. Right? We are going to plan. So under this, the target is we are going to increase the forest and tree cover for 5 million hectare. We want to increase the forest and tree cover for 5 million hectare, and then improve the quality of forest for another 5 million hectare. Improve the quality of forest for another 5 million hectare. So totally 10 million hectare we are focusing. So under this mission, the total target is 10 million hectare. So 5 million hectare, we want to increase the tree cover and forest cover. Another 5 million hectare, we want to improve the quality of forest. Now, this entire program will be launched in autonomy and decentralization. So autonomy and decentralization means the local people. We are going to involve local people. So that is, we are going to empower the Gram Sabha. So this money will be spent in such a way that the local people will also get benefited. So for this, they are going to, under this mission, they are going to recruit the tribal people, young tribal people as community foresters. We are going to recruit the local tribal people as community foresters. Community foresters. So these are young tribal people. So now we will be giving them employment. So this entire scheme will be done by these people. So increasing the forest cover, improving the quality cover and all. So here we will train them in methodology, and also they will try to use their traditional method. They will also try to use their traditional method in conserving the forest. So by this, what happens, you see, you are giving, local people employment, livelihood program, poverty will be reduced. At the same time, tree cover will also get increased. So that this 46,000 crores, whatever we have spent, that money will go to the local people. So local people employment will happen, empowerment will happen, so that livelihood program, poverty will reduce. At the same time, tree cover is getting improved, and also tree cover is getting increased. And also another thing is, it is also possible that these people will not get into the hands of Naxalites and Maoists, because once you give employment and everything, so definitely they will not get into the hands of Naxalites. Okay, so that's how the idea. This is called National Mission on Green India. National Mission on Green India. Okay, so you have seen 4 missions: National Solar Mission, National Mission on Green India, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat, National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Okay, we'll take a small break. See, everything is launched. All the program, everything is launched. So we'll take a small break and then we'll see the other programs. Okay, shall we continue? The next mission is National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. The next mission is National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. So anyway, we know that agriculture productivity is going to come down. Food security is going to get affected by 30 to 40%. So how to adapt to it? How to mitigate it? So definitely we have to go for biotechnological method. So that is what we are trying to use biotechnology. Biotechnology or genetic engineering, to produce carbon responsive crop. To produce carbon responsive crop. See, what is that carbon responsive crop means? Because of the climate change, sometimes increase in temperature will result in increase in diseases, right? So that pathogens will increase. So definitely disease resistant crop, biotechnological crop, we can bring it. Even because of climate change, drought can come. So drought resistant crop. So that and all we can develop. So that is what it's a biotechnological method to bring carbon responsive crop. That is one agenda. The second agenda is to go for dryland farming. So to promote all dryland farming methods, that's another one. And definitely we need to conserve water, because in the climate change, water resources is going to get more affected. So here, definitely water use efficiency, we need to improve. Water use efficiency, we have to improve. So the best method is to promote micro irrigation. So conserve water, promote micro irrigation. So conserve water, whatever through the possible means. Okay, micro irrigation methods. Okay, that's another agenda. Then the fourth one is we need to also enhance the energy. Enhance the energy. Enhance the energy means that is we need to bring energy efficient equipments. Energy efficient equipments. Because for agriculture, we are also consuming a lot of energy. Because for fertilizer manufacturing, seed manufacturing, irrigation, transport, so for everything energy is used. So energy conservation should also be part of the sustainable agriculture. Okay, and then fifth one is definitely in the climate change, lot of crop failure can happen. So definitely we need to provide information. I'm right. We need to transfer information to that, and risk management should be there. There is nothing but insurance schemes and all. Risk management should be there. So you can understand. So in the sustainable agriculture, we are trying to promote biotechnology. We are trying to promote dryland farming. We are trying to promote micro irrigation to conserve water. We are trying to increase more energy efficient equipments. And at the same time, if any crop failure happen, we need to provide support to the farmers. That is to bring insurance and all. That's called risk management. Okay, so that is what National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. Okay, the next is National Water Mission. Dryland farming means that is you need to farm in the dry land. That is even in the less water, we need to go for farming. Certain crops we need to change. That is something we need to go for a change in the cropping pattern. Okay, National Water Mission. So here, so as I already told you, in the climate change, definitely a lot of evaporation can happen and drought can also increase. So when the drought increases, some region will get more water, some region will get less water. So within India, if you come to Himalayas and all, definitely glacier melting, flooding and all will happen. So certain regions will be receiving more rainfall, certain region will be receiving less rainfall. So here under the National Water Mission, our first agenda is to increase the water use efficiency. Increase water use efficiency by 20%. Increase the water use efficiency by 20%. That is our first agenda. The second agenda, of course, in that, conserve water, probably, promote micro irrigation, conserve water. So for example, that is, we want to minimize the water wastage, and also basin level management, water basin dams and all properly we need to manage. Okay, optimize irrigation. So including even, including the watershed management and the rainwater harvesting, everything will come under the increase water use efficiency. At least 20% we need to improve it. The second is very important. We need to build a integrated water resource management. So in this, they say that we have to bring equal distribution of water within states across state. Within and across states. Within states and across states. Integrated water resource management, we need to bring equitable distribution. So some region is going to receive excess rainfall, some region will become more drought. So what you have to do? You have to distribute. How can you distribute? It is nothing but, of course, it is connecting the rivers. So indirectly, so it is not given directly. Indirectly, we are talking about interlinking of rivers. Okay, so that is the main idea under the water mission, because climate change is going to have a heavy burden on our water resources. So we have to be prepared for this water management. Okay, the next one is National Mission for Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. National Mission for Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. Yes, zero tillage will also reduce water consumption. National Mission for Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. Now we brought a separate mission for Himalayas. You see, the Himalayas will start from Uttarakhand something, and it will go up to, Assam Northeast. So the stretch of Himalayas, we are giving a special focus. So why there is a need for a special mission for Himalayas? The reason is, the Himalaya is more vulnerable for the climate change, especially in case of glacier melting, because Himalayas have got huge glacier. When the glaciers are melting, what will happen? Definitely flood will happen, more flood, of course, more landslides. Okay, that will happen. And apart from that, when more flood is happening, definitely your urban will get affected, agriculture activity and all will get affected. So now we need to, in this mission, it is more of a knowledge mission. That is, we will scientifically try to analyze, monitor the Himalaya, what are all the changes is going to happen because of the, climate change. And then once we understand it, first thing, we try to observe. We try to observe, constantly observe, monitor scientifically, constantly observe, monitor scientifically what are all the changes that is going to happen in the Himalayas because of climate change. So where the flood is going to come, where the flood is not going to come, where the drought is going to come, where excess rain is going to come. So everything we are going to observe and monitor it. And based on that, we will also predict and project for the future trend. The second activity is we will predict and project future trend. Future trends of Himalayas. Based on that, we will try to develop policies. we will try to develop developmental policies. So development policy is nothing but, so how urbanization has to be planned, how agriculture has to be planned, how infrastructure has to be planned, how water security has to be planned, everything we need to do. So otherwise, then everything will collapse. And also you have a lot of agriculture activity, am I right? So basins, Bihar, UP, many countries are that. So more population is also there in this belt. So that is the reason we want to give a special focus on Himalayan ecosystem. So under this, we try to improve our, institutional capacity, that is research capacity, to observe and monitor the changing Himalayan trend because of climate change. We will try to predict and project the future trends. So by that way, we will try to develop policies. So the policies for developing urban management, or policies for developing urban agriculture activity, okay, everything. This is what a mission, which is called National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem. Okay, the last mission is National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. National Mission for Strategic Knowledge on Climate Change. Okay, this is purely a knowledge mission. This is purely a knowledge mission. So here we are going to establish, under this mission, we are going to establish an organization, already we have established, which is called INCCA. That is called Indian Network for Climate Change Assessment. Indian Network for Climate Change Assessment. INCCA. What is this? It is nothing but, it is India's IPCC. So you know that IPCC is doing a knowledge work for the entire globe. But we need to create our own IPCC, right? That is what INCCA. Now, in this INCCA, we will try to bring more than 127 research institutes. Okay, so like IPCC, we will try to bring all the research institutes in India. So top 127, 130 research institutes, and more than 500 to 600 scientists will come together. Okay, they will compile, okay, a research report on climate change. So what is the effects of climate change on India? What is the impact? How to mitigate? How to adapt? So how IPCC prepares for the globe, the INCCA will prepare for India. So most of the time, it is something network of institution. Okay, they will try to do research, promotion of climate science research and everything, and also data sharing. They will share the data. By that way, the government can prepare a policy. The government can prepare a policy. So INCCA, how many reports they have released? They have released 2 reports. The latest report is the second report. It is a second assessment report. It is also called as 4x4 assessment. It is called as 4x4 assessment. It is called 4x4 assessment. So that is 4 region, 4 areas. They have assessed. What is the 4 region? The 4 vulnerable region for climate changes. You know that Himalayas, Northeast, Western Ghats, coastal. These are the 4 most vulnerable. So in this, the 4 activities, what they are going to see is agriculture, health, water, forest. Now in Himalaya, what is going to happen to agriculture? What is going to happen to health? What is going to happen to forest? What is going to happen to water? So the same thing Northeast. Like that, they have done a 4x4. So in that only they told that, so agriculture production in India will come down by 15%, 15%. So they have given some, they have shared their, assessment. Okay, that is called the knowledge mission. Clear? These are the 8 missions of climate change. Okay, you can read it from the book. from the essay book. Okay, some more details, you can read it. Okay, so with this, India action on climate change is over. So now we have to see the international. So before that, just we will try to see what is this ozone depletion. We'll try to see this ozone depletion. That will be better. Ozone depletion. So basically, you know that. So the Earth, we have a stratosphere. The stratosphere, we have a O3 layer. Am I right? Ozone layer. Now, when we are using this ODS, that is called ozone depleting surface, ozone depleting substance. So what are the ozone depleting substance? There are many substances. So we have CFC, we have HCFC, we have carbon tetrachloride, we have methyl chloroform, HBFC. There are many, ODS. So out of that, initially, the CFC has created a lot of problem. In refrigerant, in foam manufacturing and all, when we use CF, the chlorine radical alone will go to the top. The chlorine radical alone in the stratosphere, because of the convection, it will go to the top. Now, what will happen? You see, this chlorine will sit on the O3 and it will break the O3 chain. It will sit on the O3 and it will break the O3 chain. Now, in this, the chlorine will not get consumed. So chlorine will sit on one O3, it will break it, and it will sit on another O3, it will break it, it will sit on another O3, it will break it. So like that, one chlorine radical itself, till its life form, it will break more than 10 lakh chains. So that is the reason this ODS substance has to be completely controlled. So when the ozone depletion happens, what will happen? So when the entire ocean is depleted, then slowly the UVB ray will come inside. You know that geography they would have told you. The UVB ray comes. Normally when the UVB ray comes, probably it affects the skin. It can affect it can create cataract, eye cataracts and other problems and all. It can do extensive damage to, plant life and all. So that is the reason they want to control this ODS. So initially they brought a Vienna Convention. They brought a convention, Vienna Convention, to control this ODS. But later, by 1980s, 80s to 85, they came to know that in Montreal, the ozone hole itself was formed. Montreal in Canada, the ozone hole itself was formed. So UVB ray directly entered. So that is the reason they don't want to take a risk. They went for a protocol. Globally, everyone accepted to control the ODS for this, a protocol called Montreal Protocol. They went for a Montreal Protocol. Okay, under the Montreal Protocol, we need to control all the ODS. Okay, in a Montreal Protocol, so there will be two countries. One is developing countries. Developing will be there. So normally developed country and all will have to take less time. For example, if you take CFC, developed country controlled by 1995 itself. But whereas for developing country and all, they will give you 10-15 years extra. So that the developing country can find alternate for CFC for refrigerant and they can do it. That is how developed versus developing. And also sometimes the developed country, and also sometimes it is possible that they can control in phases. Suppose you can control in single phase, or probably you can also control in two phase. Recently, there is HCFC, hydrochlorofluorocarbon. It is also used in refrigerant and foam manufacturing and all. India controlled this HFC in two phases. That is called HPMP program. HPMP1, HPMP2. That is hydrochloro phase out management plan 1, hydrochlorofluoro phase out management 2. So like that, through phases also they can control. Okay, normally for developing country, they will give flexibility. They will give more time. Okay, so they can control through multiple phases. Okay, the target will not be very stringent. For developed country, the target will be very stringent. So that is how the Montreal Protocol works. And the second thing is, under the Montreal Protocol, there will be a fund which is called multilateral fund. There will be a fund called multilateral fund. So all the developing country can make use of this fund for replacement of this chemical. If you are moving from one chemical to another chemical, suppose you are banning CFC, you are going for some other alternate. So that time, without money, we cannot do it. Am I right? So that only the developed country will give money to the fund so that the developing country can take money. Multilateral fund is also there. Okay. That is one. The second is, we have another ozone depletion, Antarctica depletion. Antarctica ozone, it's not depletion, Antarctica ozone hole. If you take Antarctica, assume this is the ozone layer. During the summer month, there will be intact ozone layer surrounding the Antarctica. But when you come to winter, ozone will be depleted and the hole itself will create where UVB ray will enter. This is during winter. So Antarctica ozone depletion is seasonal. That is, during the summer, the complete ozone will be formed. During the winter, a complete ozone hole will be formed. Ozone hole will be formed where UVB ray will enter. This is what happening in a seasonal way in Antarctica. This is a little bit different from others. Okay, what is the reason why it happens in Antarctica like this? The reason is, when come to winter, in the winter, there is a cloud called polar stratospheric cloud. Is formed in the Antarctica, sometimes called PSC. They say that in Antarctica, there is a special cloud called polar stratospheric cloud is formed. Now, what is really happening is, this polar stratospheric cloud will provide a surface for the chlorine radical to sit on the O3 and break the O3 chain. That's all. Because it's a complex reaction, so you don't want to get into the reaction and all. Now, what happens, you see, this stratospheric polar stratospheric clouds provides a surface on which the chlorine will get hydrolyzed, and in the series of reaction, it will completely deplete the ozone layer. Normally, when you come to the spring, that is the late winter, the entire ozone layer will be depleted, a ozone hole will be formed. So recently, last year, a big ozone hole was formed because more polar stratospheric cloud got created in the Antarctica. Okay, why this polar stratospheric cloud and all formed, we do not know. Okay, so now whether this polar stratospheric cloud formed in the Arctic, normally for this polar stratospheric cloud to be formed, you need to have a very low temperature, uniform low temperature throughout length and breadth. For a large area, for a great depth, or for a great width, you need to have a low temperature. Then only this polar stratospheric cloud will be formed. So such a condition always happens only in Antarctica. It does not happen in Arctic. Okay. So just make note. I will give a small write-up. During winter, a special type of a cloud called polar stratospheric cloud. A special type of a cloud called polar stratospheric cloud are formed in the Antarctica. These cloud will provide surface. These cloud will provide surface on which chlorine will get hydrolyzed, on which chlorine will get hydrolyzed, on which chlorine will get hydrolyzed, comma, and in series of reaction, and in series of reaction, and in series of reaction, the chlorine radical depletes the ozone. The chlorine radical depletes the ozone. The chlorine radical depletes the ozone. Okay, this is what happens. But now in the summer, what will happen? Yes, normally when it comes to the summer month, by the time the winter is gone, the polar stratospheric cloud is removed. The PSC is removed. Okay, so when the PSC is removed, polar stratospheric cloud is removed. Now the chlorine will not have a surface. And the second thing is, during the summer, because of the convection, the nitrogen dioxide and methane will come to the upper atmosphere, will come to the stratosphere in the, in the stratosphere, and it will react with the chlorine monoxide, nothing but chlorine atom, and it will suppress the chlorine. It will form chlorine sink, so that the chlorine will not be able to deplete the ozone. So that time, intact ozone layer will be formed. That is what last year you would have seen. By the month of December, the ozone hole got completely closed. Before that, ozone hole got completely depleted. Again, ozone hole got closed. So that's what we have seen in the last year. I'm right. Okay. See, in order to create a polar stratospheric cloud, you need to have a very low temperature for a large area and for a greater width. Okay, so for a large area, for a greater width, for a greater depth, you need to have a low temperature. Such a low temperature is found only in Antarctica. It is not found in Arctic. But sometimes it has formed. Sometimes PSC formed in the Arctic, it also depleted, but it's very minimum. But every year this will happen in the summer and winter. Okay, so that is what you can see last year by the month of, so you can see that last year the news, by the December month, you came to know, by the December, I think something, they said that because that southern hemisphere, it is the December will be the summer month. So that time the ozone hole, biggest ozone hole created in the last winter. Last year winter, biggest ozone hole created because temperature was very, very low. Temperature was very, very low. And then in the summer, December month, in the summer, what happened? You see, again, the ozone hole completely got closed. This is what happens in the Antarctic. Okay, so just make note. In summer, the polar stratospheric cloud is removed. In the summer, the polar stratospheric cloud is removed, comma, here nitrogen dioxide and methane reacts with chlorine monoxide, forming chlorine sinks. Preventing ozone depletion. Preventing ozone depletion. Preventing ozone depletion. Polar stratospheric clouds is different. It's a special cloud that is formed during the winter. Okay. So that is about the ozone depletion. So now we can directly get into the last part, that is international. So we have to see the international conventions related to climate change. So in this, we will try to see the background, how the convention started, where it started. So some, I think Chandru sir would have explained, but anyway, we will recap it and we will get into our UNFCCC. So we'll see the Environment Convention. Do you know when is the first convention started for environment? Yes, the first and foremost convention for environment started in, so I will share this entire slide after this class, Stockholm, 1972. So the first convention is Stockholm Convention of 1972. Stockholm Convention of 1972. For every convention, there is a name. This convention name is called UN Conference on Human Environment. UN Conference on Human Environment. Okay, so in this convention, Indira Gandhi participated. See, this is the very first convention, which was in 1972. So that time we didn't have any idea about environment. Even in India, there was no Department of Environment at all. Okay, there was no ministry, there was no department. So that is the first time. Okay, we are discussing about environment. So in this, what are the decision was taken as the first decision, they said that we have to launch a UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. And this UNEP will have 3 organs. There will be a governing council. There will be a governing council. There will be a governing council. See, this governing council is nothing but the leaders will come and take decisions. And then there will be a secretariat who will implement all the decisions. There will be a secretariat who will implement all the decisions. The third is Enviro Fund, because in order to implement all the decisions, we need a fund. So every country contributes fund. That is called Enviro Fund. That is how UNEP. So it was decided that all the environmental matters will be discussed under the UNEP. Okay, that is the first decision they took. The second decision is they all decided that every country should create a umbrella act for environment. That is nothing but our EP Act of 1986. So it was decided that every country has to create, all the member country has to create umbrella act for environment. It is nothing but EP Act of 1986. So 1972 we attended, but actually we should have created by 1975. But since we didn't have much consciousness, we didn't create. But after 1985 Bhopal tragedy, we thought that this act is very important. So that's the reason we brought it. And also this entire convention happened in June 5th. So they made June 5th as a World Environment Day. June 5th as a World Environment Day. Okay, and apart from that, they took a lot of resolution. They started one Earth Watch, action plan. They took a resolution on pollution. They took a resolution on nuclear weapon. Like that, a lot of resolutions they took. And finally, it was decided that, okay, when we can meet again, okay, we can meet for every 10 years. We can meet for every 10 years. So that means this UNEP conference, Enviro conference, you need to see 1972, 1982, 1992, 2002, 2012. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to see that 5 conference. So let us see all the 5 conference. Okay, after 10 years, what happened? 1982, it happened in the UNEP headquarters, Nairobi. Okay, so it does not have publicity at all. So just they took some declaration and they went off. Okay, so for the last 10 years, no much action was taken. Even there was nothing discussed on the 1982. So it does not have any publicity at all. So just every leaders came, they took resolution and then they went off. So almost 20 years has gone. But by 1980s, we started seeing many things. That is, IUCN started saying that if many flora and fauna has become extinct, more than 40% of the flora and fauna become extinct. By the time climate change, we started sensing, that is the reason 1989, they created a IPCC. So like that, we started seeing that environment is degrading. So immediately, they thought that by 1990 itself, they decided that this next conference, 1992 conference, has to be very, very serious. Everyone has to participate. We have to take very important decision in this. So we should not, waste our time like last 20 years. So that is what the next conference, 1992, is very, very important conference. That is called Earth Summit. Earth Summit of 1972. It happened in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, Rio Summit sometime. That conference is called UN Conference on Environment and Development. UN Conference on Environment and Development. Okay, why it is called Earth Summit means in this conference, more than 20,000 people participate. All the 180 plus countries have joined. All the leaders has come. More than, if you take NGOs, business or leaders, so more than 20,000 participants was in this conference. That is the reason this is called the entire Earth itself was there. So that is the reason they call it as a Earth Summit. Okay, in this we signed some agreement. The first agreement is Rio Declaration Agenda 21 and Forest Principle. That's the first agreement they signed. That is, they brought 21 points. They brought 21 points so that every country has to achieve this 21 point. That is what Agenda 21. It is a non-legal binding agreement. It is not a legal binding agreement. It's a non-legal binding agreement. So stating that the Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration Agenda 21 document, everyone has to sign, and then everyone in their country, they have to implement this 21 point. This 21 point is related to environment and also related to poverty, biodiversity and poverty. Okay, the second is they created one commission which is called National Commission on Sustainable Habitat, UNCSD. National Commission on Sustainable Habitat. See, basically, this is a high-level forum. High-level forum. Normally, the leaders will come and meet in UN General Assembly on Economic Social Council. The purpose of this commission is to oversee this entire summit. Okay, so it should not happen like last 20 years. So we have to ensure that this Earth Summit 1992 is implemented. Especially this Agenda 21 is implemented in every country. That is the reason it is a high-level forum. Okay, it's called UN Commission on Sustainable Development. See, I will share this entire slides. It's called UN Commission on Sustainable Development. And then they signed 3 conventions. They signed 3 conventions. The first convention is called UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. UNFCCC. The second convention is called Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD. The third convention is UN Convention on Combating Desertification, UNCCD. So they thought that we need to bring a separate convention for climate change, separate convention for biodiversity, separate convention for combating desertification. So 3 conventions they signed. And apart from that, they also decided we need to create a fund, because without money, we cannot, do all those things. So that is the reason we want to bring a fund, which is called Global Environment Facility. This Global Environment Facility, it is a financial mechanism for 6 areas. So the developing country can take money for these 6 areas: biodiversity, climate change, land degradation, ozone depletion, international waters, POP. So for the 6 areas from the GEF, the money can be taken. The money can be taken. Okay. So now you see this UNEP conference that will happen for every 10 years. Okay. And then UNFCCC Conference of Party, every year they will meet. For CBD, the Conference of Party will be for every 2 years. For UNCCD, the Conference of Party is also for every 2 years. Okay, UNCCD, it may be for 2 years, or it will have 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, like that it will have. So it is not very regular. Okay, at least 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 conference of party you should know. That is 10 years once this UNEP conference, what has happened. Every year, okay, approximately what happened year after we'll see CBD and UNCCD. See, already CBD we have seen. Okay. So we will see this, what is happening in the 10 years. We will see the other 10 years. And then we'll try to see the very important conference of party in the UNCCD. And then we'll see UNFCCC. Okay. Now 92 we have seen. Now 2002. It happened in Johannesburg, South Africa. It happened in Johannesburg, South Africa. So it is called Earth Summit 2002. Earth Summit 2002. Or Rio plus 10, because 1992 is a Earth Summit. So it is called Earth Summit 2002, or 1992, it happened in Rio. So that is the reason Rio plus 10 years. So it's called Rio plus 10 years. So now this summit is called World Summit on Sustainable Development. The summit is called World Summit on Sustainable Development. So of course, it is also not very, it does not have much publicity. So here they just took a declaration and they said that we will achieve Millennium Development Goal. Our main objective is to achieve Millennium Development Goal. Okay. So by that way, 2002 conference is over. The next conference is again happened in 2012. After 10 years, Earth Summit 2012, the same Rio de Janeiro, it is called Rio plus 20. The short name is Rio plus 20. So it is called as UN Conference on Sustainable Development, UNCSD. So don't confuse with that UNCSD, that is Commission on Sustainable Development. This is a conference on sustainable development. So it is nothing but achieving MDG means it is supporting the Millennium Development Goal. Okay. Now in this, they adopted a groundbreaking policy on building green economy. They took a policy on building green economy. Okay, they took a groundbreaking policy on building green economy. So for this, they created an alliance that is called Partnership Alliance on Green Economy, PAGE. So that was only decided in the 2012 conference. Partnership Alliance on Green Economy, PAGE. Okay, And in this conference of party, that is in this some conference only, they took, of course, they addressed a concept called land degradation neutrality. Land degradation neutrality concept of LDN only emerged in this. Only emerged in this, but in the UNCCD conference of party in 2015, they adopted it. In the 12th conference of party. Of course, in the UNCCD 12th conference of party, that is 2015, they adopted this LDN. But the concept came out in this conference. Everyone decided, everyone said that we have to go for land degradation neutrality. Okay, and then MDG goal, you know that it is over. So hereafter SDG goal. So they said that hereafter we will support the SDG goal, Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030. Okay. That is how the 10 years conference of party. Okay, now we need to see, okay, one thing, this Commission on Sustainable Development, UN Commission on Sustainable Development, UNCSD, don't confuse with the UN Conference on Sustainable Development. This name is changed to High Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development in 2013. In 2013, they changed the UN Commission on Sustainable Development to UN High Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. High Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. Okay. Now, when come to UNCCD, we don't want to see the entire UNCCD. So just we will try to see some of the major conference of party. Here, in 2011, just a minute. In the conference of party 10, the German government plus IUCN, German government and IUCN proposed a concept called bone challenge. Proposed a concept called bone challenge. Proposed a concept called bone challenge or bone challenge pledge. So what are the bone challenge pledges? That is, we want to bring 150 million hectare. We want to revive that 150 million hectare degraded land by 2020, and 350 million hectare degraded land we want to revive by 2000, I think, 30. This is what bone challenge. This is what they said that the government, German government said that, German government and IUCN said that, let us all take it's a voluntary pledge. It's not mandatory. So in fact, in the parallel of the UNCCD, they said, so the German government said that we have launched a bone challenge. The challenge is something that we all join together and we want to revive the regenerate, that is regenerate that, degraded land, desertified land, forest land, or any forest land or something, for 150 million hectare by 2020 and by 350 million hectare by 2030. This is what they said. And also German government said that anyone who comes to join this bone challenge, they can come. It is voluntary. So they said, okay, now in 2015, in the conference of party 12, in the conference of party 12, India, what we said was, India also said that we will also go for bone challenge. So in order to support the bone challenge, India said that we will revive 21 million hectare of degraded land. This is a target India gave for the bone challenge. We will revive 21 million hectare of degraded land. India's target will be 21 million hectare. We said, and also we said that India will support, that is India has joined this bone challenge. Number one. And in 2015 only, this LDN was adopted. Land degradation neutrality is adopted. Land degradation neutrality is adopted. Okay. So this happened in the 2015 Conference of Party 12. Then Conference of Party 14 of 2019. Actually, it happened in India itself, this Conference of Party in Greater Noida. Okay, India took the presidentship. So since we took the presidentship, we said that we will increase this 21 million hectare degraded land to 26 million hectare. So 5 million hectare, we have increased it. Of course, this is the Asia's largest target. The India's target is the Asia's largest target, supporting the bone challenge. So when we reach 2030, 350 million, sorry, just a minute. When you reach 2030, 350 million hectare in the globe has to be revived. So in that, India said that we ourselves will contribute 26 million hectare. So this is what the biggest challenge. Of course, land degradation neutrality is there. So that is what first thing it has happened. So and again, so every year they will take a declaration. So this year the declaration is New Delhi Declaration. The New Delhi Declaration. New Delhi Declaration they have created. Okay, that's one thing. And then in this, they launched, in this Conference of Party, they launched, I'll write it here, they launched drought toolbox. They launched drought toolbox. Okay, so drought toolbox means don't think it is a hardware, it is nothing but information sharing. That is, if you take a drought, so first you need to, any drought, how you can manage the drought. So if you systematically want to attack a drought, what are things to be needed? First thing, we need to predict the drought. Am I right? We need to predict whether the drought will come or not. The second thing, if it comes, what is the risk? What is the vulnerability? Of course, we need to monitor the drought and we need to adapt to the drought. Yes, of course, very good. Measure, monitor, measure. Yes, how much influence it will happen. Very good. Monitor, measure, adapt, mitigate and control. Am I right? This is what any drought management. So first we have to predict it, whether really the drought is going to come or not. Okay, we need to monitor it, we need to measure it, we need to suppose if a drought comes, what is the risk, vulnerability, how much it is going to affect it, measurement, of course, adaptability, how to adapt to the drought, how to mitigate to the drought, how to control. See here, this is what drought management. Now, every country has its own method. Am I right? So Japan will have its method, African countries will have its method, Thailand will have its method, Russia will have its method, China will have its method. So now all the country, the drought management, they will try to put it in a common, hub. Okay, common information hub. So now anyone can go and take it. This is something called drought toolbox. So that if you take it, it will be very useful for us. So we can learn the lesson how the other countries are controlling. So by that way, it will be very useful to create our drought policy. This is something called drought toolbox. So you can see here. Okay. So how the drought, monitoring, early warning system, vulnerability, risk assessment, mitigation measures. So this will be used for the drought policy plan. So again, it can be, of course, it will change from country to country, but drought is something ultimately, when you enter into a drought, anyway, it is a drought. For everyone, it is a drought. All right. See, the condition may vary, but drought is a drought. You have the monitoring, measurement, early warning system and all, it's common. See, the rainfall happens in India, the rainfall happens in US. Early warning system may be common. I'm right. It may be, of course, the parameter will change, but the concept and system is common only, no? So it will not change. So that is what they will try to use. So we have to customize to our own need. This is something called drought toolbox. The drought toolbox collates a large number of tools organized into 3 models. How to monitor a drought, how to find the early warning system, how to find the vulnerability risk assessment, how to do it. So now it is so of course this drought toolbox is being developed right now. So they've only launched this drought toolbox. It is developed by some UNCCD, WMO. So multiple organizations joins together. University of Nebraska, UNEP. So many organizations join together is developing this drought toolbox so that every country should get benefited. This information, most of the time, it will be accessible to everyone. Okay, so that it is a knowledge bank. As I told you, it is a knowledge bank. It's a one-stop solution shop for all actions on drought. So that it will contain how to, strengthen the country to anticipate and prepare for drought effectively. Okay, it will support to design our national drought policy plan. This launch of drought toolbox and all happened only in COP 14. Okay, so in COP 14, of course, the one is India gave a target. India extended its targeted from 21 million hectare to 26 million hectare. Okay, so again, everyone supported this LDN, everyone supported this bone challenge. And the third thing is, of course, New Delhi declaration. See, every time they will take a declaration, New Delhi declaration, and then finally launch up this drought toolbox. These are the things happened recently in 2019. Okay. So with this, UNCCD is over. Now we have to finally go for UNFCCC. Okay. So now till this, if you have a doubt, you can ask me, and then we will take a break. And exactly at 5 o'clock, we will again start the UNFCCC, and we will complete it. See, now only drought toolbox is created. Now only it is in the process of creation. The information will be available to all UNCCD members. Drought toolbox, once it is created, still it is not created. I'm not sure about whether it's completed or not. They said that they are developing because they have to collect information from all the country, right? So once it is developed, it can be used by all the UNCCD members. Okay. Anyway, so with this, we will take a break. So exactly we will meet by 5 o'clock. We will start with UNFCCC and we will complete that UNFCCC.